When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that that was all an illusion. The only thing that's going to matter is the impact you had on other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life here on this earth is at my funeral, they ain't going to talk about my success. They're going to talk about who Nick was and how Nick lived and how Nick loved and encouraged.
Success is incredibly important, but even more important than success, it's having an impact. It's knowing you haven't walked the planet in vain. It's knowing that because you've been here, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, and you have made the world a better place.
The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Life is a mirror, and life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. When you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
Have you ever stopped to wonder about the soul behind the spotlight? The truth behind the headlines? Beneath every glamorous facade lies a story waiting to be told. A journey full of triumphs, struggles, heartaches, and victories. Welcome to People, the groundbreaking new series here on the Alpha Warrior Show. Tonight, we're setting politics aside, no hidden agendas, no filters, just pure, raw humanity. In a world that constantly tries to categorize us, it's easy to forget what binds us together. Our shared experiences, our laughter, our tears, and the authentic moments that define who we truly are. Each week, we're going to explore the powerful, emotional, and beautiful, imperfect lives of people who inspire us, captivate us, and remind us that we're all in this incredibly messy and extraordinary journey together. We'll laugh, we'll reflect, and we'll dive deep into the stories that often go untold, unapologetically, real, and deeply personal. Get ready to meet the heart behind the headlines, the reality behind the reputation, the persona behind the person, the grit that makes these amazing people tick. This is People, real stories, real connections, real life. And when we come back from this commercial, it's showtime, and I hope you enjoy. Set up to the plate with Viper bats, American-made, precision-crafted wood bats for athletes of all ages. Viper bats are made for players, by the players, using hand-split birch and ash billets, ensure unmatched durability and big league quality. Founded by a father and son with a deep love for baseball, every Viper bat reflects the player-driven passion and expertise. With tons of color options and a 45-day warranty on most bats, swing with confidence. Viper bats, crafted for players, built to last, made to love the game. Swing the best wood bats you'll ever hold. Swing Viper bats. Visit badlandsmedia.tv/bats and use promo code Badlands15 for 15% off non-blemish bats. That's badlandsmedia.tv/bats, promo code Badlands15. Wear your freedom proudly and celebrate America in style with Scales Freedom Collection. Scales offers a line of long sleeve performance shirts, buttersoft tees, and hats with ocean-inspired patriotic prints. Every piece is designed to keep you cool, protected, and proud to be an American. Shop now at badlandsmedia.tv/scales and enter the code Badlands at checkout for 20% off your next purchase. You guys know Alpha loves hats. These hats are quality, the stitching, the comfort, the logos. Again, go to badlandsmedia.tv/scales, enter Badlands at checkout for 20% off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to People. I am Alpha. Tonight's guest, Chad Caton, Navy Seabee, firefighter, powerful voice in the veteran community, and most importantly, my friend. Let's welcome Chad to the stage. Brother, how you doing, man?
I'm living the dream, Alpha. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. 2025 has been interesting to say the least. And
it's like drinking from water hose, ain't it?
Bro, man, talk about sending me back. I remember those days. I remember those. If you forgot to let the first squirt shoot out of the hose, you got that hot ass water in your mouth. Yeah,
that's when you gave the half retarded kid. You had him test it first. See how it came out. The dumbest one in the group. You're like, hey man, go check this water and see if whose hose tastes better, because you could always taste the plastic.
Dude, we were so much tougher as kids, weren't we?
It's stupid. This is uncensored, right? I mean, it's
100% uncensored. Let it fly.
I don't know why you would let me on a show otherwise. I've been fired from 3 networks. It's we have a weakness in this world right now that is a plague, and I think you're seeing so much more of that. We joke about Gen X, but at the same time, Gen X needs to get off its ass and lead from the front. And we've always said just leave us alone, kind of folks. But you, myself, a lot of us, Mike Jr.'s here at my house right now. He's a next leader. Diesel is a leader every time. What are we doing? Really? My dog's trying to kill somebody.
That's family right there.
Diesel, shut up. I don't know. I think my wife got another damn Amazon package.
You made him cry.
I forgot to put this on the door. Doesn't do shit sitting here next to me, does it? I guess I was the retard that was drinking out of the water hose first. I just called myself out. And this is called people.
I'm not editing that out, just so you know. That's staying, bro. That is so staying.
You know what? I wouldn't expect anything less from you. I don't know what just happened, but Diesel seems to be okay. He's back living with Mike, so we're good.
Life, maybe that's life. But you were saying we were tougher kids.
I don't remember what I was saying. The whole world just collapsed in my house. My dog lost his shit, and the Amazon guy's running it down the street.
For those that don't know, Diesel is the other half of Chad. And then the other
he's
half
the Patriot pup.
And then the other half of Chad is his wife. And then somewhere in the middle of whatever's left in my Marine Corps math is Chad.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. This is Diesel and Elizabeth's house. I pay rent. That's it.
No, but we were talking about, we were so much stronger as kids, tasting the freaking rubber and the plastic and the hose, like it was just different. And this segues perfect into the way I like to start these shows with my guests is, what was childhood like for Chad? It's just, we all know each other as adults, but a lot of times we kind of like forget, what were we like at, the single digits, and then getting into the teens. Like, what was life like for you growing up, man?
It was pretty lonely, to be honest with you. I grew up on a farm. I didn't have neighborhood kids. I didn't get to go play baseball. I didn't get to go, vandalize people's shit. My dad gave me a gun at 10 years old, and he said, if you want something to do, go hunt, make dinner, and I grew up on an old family farm in Southern Illinois, and, we did the walking the beans, detassel corn, we had the hogs, we had our chickens, and, I had but the house was so old. And I look back on this now as an adult, and it taught me so much, having lost my father this year. He made it where work and understanding what you get from work, right? I mean, I was free labor, and I'm gargantuan, so he just used me as a friggin' donkey plow everywhere we went. So, we didn't have a furnace, right? But don't look at it like we lived in a log cabin and we're poor. We had a big, beautiful house. It was just old. And my dad's like, I have 2 boys. Why do I need a furnace to put into this old house when I got you boys in an entire woods down there to go cut? So we had a farm truck and chainsaws, and we go down there every winter because the field was frozen, and we would drive out there in the coldest of winters, man, in Central Illinois. And we go out there, cut them trees, and my dad's like, I was like, Dad, I need a gym membership. And he's like, how are you gonna get there? And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, why do you need a gym membership? I was like, for wrestling and football. He goes, all right, well, welcome to Thug Gym. So we went out there, and my dad bought me, instead of a 6-pound maul, he bought me a 12-pound maul, and he said, "Here's a 12-pound maul," which is a it's a hatchet, as some of you call it, but it's just split wood. And he would cut the tree down in 4-foot sections. I would have to squat, put it on my shoulder, the 4-foot section of the tree, carry it out to the frozen bean field. And then he would cut it into sections, and my sister or my brother would stack them up in the rows, right? And then I would come through with the 12-pound maul and split each one, and until we filled the truck, sometimes twice. And then he's like, "Well, we don't know if you're going to be a tight end, so put your ass in there, and I'm going to throw wood at you, and you're going to learn how to catch things and have soft hands." So he would literally sit there with split wood. I'd be on the sun porch stacking it so we could put it in the house so we could heat the wood, and he would chuck wood at me. He'd flip it. I can't tell you how many times I've been hit in the mouth with a piece of wood or smacked in the forehead and he's like, "If you can touch it, you can catch it." And he'd just look at me, laugh, and the whole time sitting there drinking a Keystone Light, throwing me, like thinking this was the greatest shit ever, chucking wood at me, not footballs. So nonetheless, I got dope hands. I could catch some good shit. I just was never fast enough to be the tight end. So he would put red meat in front of me on a stick and make me chase it around the yard so that I would become a defensive end. And that's how I ended up being an all-state defensive end in Illinois. So but when it comes back to the childhood, that all I had was my sister. She was 5 years younger than me. My brother was 5 years older than me. And he ended up, about that time where, I want to go play football or something in the yard. My brother would play football with me and him. It was just one-on-one. And he's 5 years older than me. He just beat the bejesus out of me. I mean, he'd go out there and just run me over, and I'd get back up, and my dad would be like, "Try harder, keep him in front of you, use your feet." And then when I finally got on, to play football, I didn't play Pop Warner, right? It was my first year playing football was freshman year. I walked out there first game and ended up with 4 sacks, 10 tackles from defensive end. So I went off, and I was like, "This game's easy. Like, what are you guys talking about?" Because my dad basically took me to Thug Gym in the farm and developed those skills. But when it came to friends, my friends were a half hour, 20 minutes away in town. And, if I wanted to get there, I had to ride a bike on country roads to get to my friend's house. Or, my parents, if they were around, they may give me a ride. But I didn't have that neighborhood thing, right? I never knew what it was like to live in town type of thing. So when all else failed and I realized I wasn't going to play football, I said, screw it. And I went and joined the Navy and became a Seabee. And I said, I want to get as far away from Illinois as I can, because we all want to get away from where we grew up sometimes, especially living on a farm. And they hit me to Great Lakes, Chicago, which was okay. I'll get past that. And then A school, I thought they're going to send me to California because I liked the California thing. I saw Baywatch, right? And I'm like, that's just awesome. I only had 2 channels growing up, so Baywatch was on there. I'm there. I was that guy.
Oh,
and,
you were spoiled. You were spoiled.
Yeah,
if you had 2 channels.
I had 2 channels. My dad got one of the big ass satellites. The thing in the yard. We had one of them. Where you're looking for. You find the porn channels.
Well, let me ask you this. I got to see what level of luxury.
My wife's dying over here right now. Like, you're such a scumbag.
What was the remote in your house?
Me.
Okay, I had a
yeah. You said what was the remote? I was the remote. They didn't have that technology out there. No way, man. That's why my dad. My mom, and my dad sat on a couch in a lazy boy, and I had a beanbag, and I was right there by the TV, and Dad'd be like, "Change channel."
All right. The kids today don't know how you used to get your ass yelled at if when you were changing the channel, because it was clickers back then on the fancy TVs, and if the channel wasn't tuned right, it was your fault. You did something. So
if the antenna was all jacked up or whatnot, I was going on the roof, not my dad. My dad was sitting down there with his Keystone Light, man, like, "No, you got to move it this way," because we'd have an ice storm or something, and one of them little chingadere things would fall off, and he'd get all mad because I was country strong. It's one step below retard strong, right? So you don't even have the muscle or nothing. You're just big. And I'm up there trying to move the damn antenna, and it's like, I'm snapping shit off. He's like, "Damn it, boy, I told you." I laugh about it now, but my dad taught me to be a man. My dad taught me what being a man, along with the empathy that needs to be a part of a man, right? Love and caring about your country, caring about your community. So I look back on it now, and the lessons I learned on that farm, albeit, I didn't get to have the neighborhood thing. the socialization, I of course learned in high school and all that. I was a, captain of the football team, so I was pretty popular pretty quick. But that being a man very young and understanding pain is there's a difference between being injured and being hurt, and just all those things that are necessary for us as men to walk out into society and take what is thrown at us in heavy levels that, and I say this all the time, and you've heard me say it on Spaces, women don't understand what we go through, because when you ask us if we're okay, we just say, yep. Because we're supposed to internalize that. We're supposed to lead from the front, and that's what leaders do. You being a Marine, me being a B, you're going to have to kill me. Before I start bitching about it, right?
And you've seen, when men have tried to break that mold to open up, they get destroyed. They're not the same after that, and that's the reason you just keep it inside. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
When we're young kids, and we all kind of have a different perspective. I've interviewed and talked to guys that, with regards to their father, where they're like, I don't want to be anything like him. Other ones that are like, I want to be just like my father. And then some, young boys that are like, I'm going to be better than my father. And then we get old and become, men ourselves and get up in age. And then sometimes I wondered, does that change? Do you look back and be like, man, I wish I could be like my father, or man, that man was stronger. Has your opinion of the way your father was from when you were a kid to the way you look now shifted?
That's a really good question. See, my situation is different though, Alpha. I was artificial inseminated, so I don't have a biological father I know of. My dad was Bill Caton, my father. My mother divorced very young. He came back from Vietnam, was unable to have children, and they had a program where they did artificial insemination through the Navy. So I did that. I was born, and I had a really close friend of mine, Bill Gardner, and he was super close to his dad, and like there was that bond. My bond with my stepdad, who was Gary, who raised me, was very good, but I didn't ever feel. Does that make sense? Like, I knew I was a kid, I was the step kid, if you will, but he didn't necessarily treat me like that. He treated me like a son. But as I look back as an adult now, and especially now that he's gone, you reflect a lot more. I carry so many of his traits as how he saw the world. And I have so much more respect. I didn't realize it at the time. I wouldn't have got through what I did in the military or as a firefighter in those particular scary situations if it wasn't for the base that he built in me, right? And I'm old enough to recognize that now. And so yeah, I'm proud to keep his legacy in what he instilled in me with fierce vengeance. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my entire ass, as he would say.
That's a lot of ass to kiss too, folks.
Yeah. I like squats.
You guys know. Well, you said so. You
plus I can twerk, so whatever.
Pixar didn't happen, bro.
Junior died over here.
Pixar didn't happen. So you go into the Navy. What inspired that? You mentioned it a little bit in your adolescence, but what was that moment where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna go into the fucking recruiting office and I'm gonna sign that damn paper? Like, what made it happen?
Man, I wish I had something cathartic, but I don't. I went and did some visits for football. I mean, I was a damn good football
man.
player.
You're gonna have to give me an explanation, because you went Navy, and if you don't have a good story, I'm gonna assume it was total homo. You wanted to be in.
Okay, fair. That's fair. There's a little homo, but not total. Okay. But yeah, I have a good story, but I didn't have that. I grew up as a patriot and fucking flags coming out of my ass, and my daddy served in the army. I didn't, none of that shit. So I went and did my visits. I went and I'm like, I'm going to be a motherfucking NFL football player. I am going to eat quarterbacks for 10, 15 years, and I'm going to be rich, bitch. That's what I was going to do. And I started doing some of these visits. I did a couple big university visits, had some offers, and then I went to like spring camp, right? And I'm like, holy shit, that dude is 6'9". and I like can see his muscles. Like I think I bench more because I'm country strong. Remember, one step below retard. and I'm looking at these guys. I was like, screw it, my dad, ain't no man gonna tear you down. So I get patted up, and I realized that I was gonna be a really good backup. I've never been a backup to shit in my life, and that was a hard pill to swallow. Plus, I had to do math. I even looked at UCLA, bro, and I'm like, I've never dated an Asian chick, so UCLA was out. I wasn't sure about that because if you know UCLA, it's all Asians, hot ones, but nonetheless, I had to learn that. Right, this is coming from the farm, and I was like, you know what, I don't like math at all. I don't want to have to go write a thesis or whatever. I don't want to do none of that shit. I want to be smart in what I want to be smart in. And I started to get real. The idea of everything that I have worked my ass off to be a football player, I had to step back from, and I had to realize it wasn't real. Again, my father, focus on what's real, fuck the rest, and focus on what you can change. And I couldn't change not being sick. Being 6 foot doesn't really correlate to be a professional defensive end. And I wasn't running a 4.2 40, right? So I was strong. That was it. And I was very skilled at what I did. But that realization of something that I had in my plan, that crossroads that we find ourselves at a lot of times, right? And I never had a parent saying, you're going to college. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. That my dad said, figure it out. It's your life. It's your social security number. And I was like, all right. And then I got into depression, really bad depression, because I realized I didn't want to go to college and I didn't have a backup plan. And in Jacksonville, Illinois is a small town with factories, and you get into the factory thing. There's no real, and I felt like I needed more, but I didn't know where to go. And I started just drinking and being an asshole. I worked at a movie theater. I just ran a fucking blower, blowing popcorn out from underneath the seats, and I just turned into a bit of a. I wasn't a full piece of crap, but I was going my way. And my buddy Bill Gardner, who's a very good friend of mine, he joined the Navy right off the rip. Like graduated, week gone, he was at boot camp. He came back after A school, right? And he's like, "Hey man, I'm in town." And I was like, "Cool." I showed up looking like a tool, I was drunk the whole time, and he's about 135 pounds, and he just pimp slapped me and grabbed a hold of my face and said, "What are you doing? You led all through high school. You were the captain. You were this." And I was like, "Dude, I can't play football with these people. I'm not that guy no more." He goes, "So what are you going to do?" He said, "I'll pick you up tomorrow." He picked me up in his dad's truck, and he drove me to his Navy recruiter, and he said he's got to do something with his life. And he wants to be a B. And I looked at him. I said, "I want to be a B." They sent me to A school. And the only reason I'm adding this, I mean, not A school, but ATI or whatever, where they make you walk like a duck naked and shit. And they realize you're okay, whatever. I was still a fuck up because I realized at 19 years old, I was big and I looked like I was 21. I found a Hooters right next to our friggin' hotel where I had to stay in St. Louis. Me and this dude went over there and got shit-faced, partied with the Hooters chick till like 3 or 4 in the morning, walked in while all the dumbasses are getting on the bus to go to the medical. And they looked at us and we're shithoused. And they said they took us there. We had to go meet with the fucking captain or whatever. He goes, "I'm not letting you leave. We're going to put you back in your room and you're going to come tomorrow and you're going to do this." Okay. So they made me stay another night. I went next day, did my medical. Week later, I was at boot camp. And when they did the rate, they want everybody to be a mess management specialist or some shit because they got to fill the crap rates. And I said, "I'm going to tell you right now, I will leave here if you do not make me an EO Seabee. I am not going in the Navy unless I'm a B." And the guy's going, "Well, I moved some shit around. And I found a Seabee billet for you." And I said, "You're damn right you did, dumb shit. I'll see you later." He goes, "You're definitely going to be an asshole Seabee." And I was like, hoorah, let's go. And I went to boot camp. That was a joke. It was easy. Off to A school. And again, I wanted to get out of Illinois. So they sent me to fucking Missouri. I'm in the Navy trying to be a Seabee, and it used to be Port Hueneme, California. I don't even know what a Port Hueneme is, but fuck it, you had me at California. And next thing I know, they've got me sitting in here's your. I literally looked at the guy when he gave me my orders, and he's like, here's your A school. And I was like, Fort what? It's an army base in Missouri. I live 2 hours from this shit. Why am I going there? And I got to spend another 6 months here. I just spent 6 months in Chicago. I joined the Navy to see the world. And the dude just looked at me. He goes, get out of my office and go to Missouri. Yes, sir.
These are orders, not suggestions.
Yeah, I had to learn that real fast. I was so pissed. I'm like, why am I not going to California? I'm looking at the guys like, dude, I did Chicago. Baywatch, bro. Fucking Baywatch. That's where I want to go. Get the fuck out of my office. And I went to Missouri, had a blast, and finished number 1 in my school, picked my duty location. I wanted to be with the professionals, one of the best units in the Seabees. And I got shipped out to Port Hueneme, California, became NMCB 5, and did my tour there.
And just explain to people, what is that, just so we understand.
So the Seabee is, and this pisses off the Green Berets and the recon guys and all that, but we are special forces. They are the special forces construction unit of the Navy. We are small units that can go in and cause huge shit. And we're very good at stealing stuff. That's what we do. We're trained to steal shit, because when you're behind enemy lines and they put the bees out there with the guys at the front, usually my brothers in the Marine Corps, we're the one part of the Marine Corps where Marine will give us a high five instead of beating our ass. And we'll fight with the Marines and beat up the fleeters. It's a weird little world that I got. We call ourselves the redheaded stepchild of the Navy, because we look like dirtbags and we love it and we embrace it. And the Seabees, their whole thing was to build whatever needed to be built. Our motto is can do. Our extra motto is the hard takes us a while. The impossible takes us just a tad bit longer. And what we would do is they blew up a bridge per se. Well, we need a bridge to get ours across. So we go kill everybody in those houses. We tear their houses apart, and then we build a new bridge with their house. That's kind of what the bees did. And we've done some, the history. Look, all you fly boys out there that like to do burnouts over my house here in Myrtle Beach in your F-22, just remember, you got some skinny dude that does Scientology as your fucking guy. I got the Duke. I got fucking John Wayne that did our movie, The Fighting Seabee. So I got that going for me everywhere we go. I love the history of the bees and the stories I've heard from people that see my Seabee lapel pin. I've had Navy SEAL Congressman Eli Crane at General Flynn's security strategy meeting we had there in Washington, D.C. Eli Crane was talking to a whole bunch of people. He saw my Seabee on my lapel. He's like, wait. And he goes, Seabee, come here. He's like, you're Seabee? I was like, no, I thought I fucking wear the pin. He's like, you're definitely a fucking Seabee. He's like, I love you guys, man. And Eli and I had a great conversation. It's a cool history to be a part of, and a lot of people don't know who it is, and we kind of like that.
It's two things for the audience, and just in case, because
here we go.
Chad is fast, so you might have missed it. When he's referencing the fly boy at Scientology, he's talking about Tom Cruise. You guys, phenomenal actor. I think.
Oh, great! Thanks for the lawsuit, asshole.
I sense a little jealousy right there. The other thing.
Look, man, I might be jealous of some folks, but it ain't fucking Tom Cruise. I take shit's bigger than that little moron.
I'm a Tom Cruise fan, man. You're crushing me right now.
You should be crushed. Holy shit! Did you say I'm a Tom Cruise fan on this thing?
He does his own stunts, man.
What?
Come on, you got to give him something.
No, I don't. Every Marine, every Special Forces guy did their stunts too and didn't get shit for it. This guy walks around telling people that space aliens are coming down because Scientology tells him so. He's a freaking cult leader. He's a fucking retard.
He made going full retard on talk shows great when he started jumping on Oprah's couch, man. You're CB.
You didn't watch it. You've ever said.
You didn't watch it. It was Marine entertainment. But the other thing that I want people,
which is it's like fine wine. It can taste like shit. So.
The other thing I wanted, to bring up is, you said you didn't have like a hardcore recruiting story. That was a phenomenal recruiting story, bro.
I got saved not by necessarily God, but
friendship.
My best friend, yeah.
Friendship, man. 100%. I was, almost gaily moved by that story.
Gaily moved easily.
Yeah, I was like, am I supposed to be feeling this way?
Yeah.
I feel like I should be ordering a uniform shirt.
Patriot boners happen a lot. in our world. What can I say? You should see it when I jump around General Flynn and I say that. He's like, "What did you say?" It's like, I got a Patriot boner. I don't know what to tell you.
What's wrong?
Freedom boners also work.
I love freedom boners, bro. But no, and the reason I'm glad you shared that is because, you know, there's going to be parents that watch this and they may have a child that kind of fits that mold of what you described. And it lets them know, listen, there are options. You know, the last 4 years was scary. Like if your kid told you he wanted to go to the military, you're like, fuck that.
No,
you know what was going on, but that has shifted.
Isn't that dope though that you and I are able to get our honor back?
Yes,
I honestly say that. I've done a lot of shows, and I'm like, man, you know, with Trump and his administration, you know, I'm watching our Navy get built out. I'm watching our special warfare being, you know, geared out, and I'm just like, dude, we're back. And I like being the biggest dick in the room. I really, really do when it comes to this planet. And it's been fun to have that honor restored back for us that have served, and the honor we try to walk around, the integrity that we fight for every day. That oath doesn't have an expiration date.
it does.
You and I both agree with that. So, and you've been in the middle of it. I've been in the middle of it. And it's been something that I walk around standing up a lot taller now. I really do. Thank you to Donald Trump for that.
Absolutely. I tell people, you guys see these attacks on President Trump, you guys, you know, everything. And it's not because they hate him.
Right.
That's how much they hate us.
That's how much they hate what we represent.
Yeah.
Which is the freedom that we talked about in the boner.
Yeah.
I want you all to have as many boners as you want.
Yeah. Make freedom boners big again.
Which is bullshit with the VA, because they only give you 5 boner pills a month. Like, how do you get to dictate somebody's boner pill when it doesn't work? You know what I'm saying? Not that I have that problem. I'm just saying it's something that's come across my desk. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Where the military, here we go again. You're only allowed 5 boners this month. Thank you for being a part of the VA. You all want to know what universal health care looks like? You only get 5 boners. Bullshit.
Yeah, let the first Marine that needs boner pills go in. They're gonna be like, he's like, I'm gonna finish this in a day. What's wrong with you?
This is my Friday night after my paycheck. What are you talking about?
he's like, you know, I got like 3 side chicks, right?
Yeah, in 5 countries.
This doesn't even cover the hookers. Jesus. I'm just playing, folks. I don't endorse that, but maybe it's true. But anyways, the other thing I wanted to say is just to give people perspective of Seabees. Like, if you want a visual of it, think Pirates of the Caribbean. All right. Assholes, drunks, steal your shit. That put a uniform on, Seabees. That's who these guys are.
We have all the Marine Corps military bearing, because we need to get right. Our camis would be crispy. You know what I'm saying? I got my 5. We wear the same cover. You know, you could always tell a Seabee and a fleet are wearing the cover, because the Seabees. This is a funny little thing. Seabees have to actually stencil the CB on every one of their pieces of equipment. Why? Because we'll take your shit. And it's a thing. If the shore patrol saw you driving around and you're a Seabee and you're not in a Seabee vehicle, they pull you over and be like, "What did you? Who's the vehicle?" I mean, we've stolen. And if you fuck with us, we'll do something. We have put Humvees on top of buildings. There's a famous story where a guy got beat up going to a Guamanian bar in Guam, and we have a thing called in the Seabees called Green's Liberty. And we all put our greens on. We put our ski masks on. We put duct tape over our name tape. And we loaded up a couple of bulldozers. And we went down there about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We took them bulldozers, put blade to blade, and put that entire fucking bar in the ocean. Touch our guy again. That's what it is to be a bee. Listen, we're the worst gang you've ever seen in your life.
Two Navy MOSs that Marines absolutely love and respect are Corpsmen and Seabees.
Yep. Weird, right? Pecker checkers and the guys that throw it around. And
we always say, you guys listen, you guys were the true Marines because you knocked on the wrong fucking door. Because every time you meet a Corpsman or a Seabee, you're like, dude, you should have been a fucking Marine. Like, you're just like us. You're 100% like us.
You guys walk too far. What is that? Like Q course at the end? Not the Q course. That's I'm
Crucible. The Crucible.
The Crucible. Like, let's go for a 40-mile walk and you're not allowed to sleep and eat this one piece of MRE. And you got to carry the 4 chicks in your unit. You got to carry their ruck because they suck. You know, it's not the bees, bro. We were the last unit in the United States military that was not a combat special forces, meaning SEALs or whatever, that actually had women integrated. Because we're terrible. And guess what? NMCB 5 brought 2 people in my first deployment, 2 women into my first deployment to Okinawa. 2 months in, they were sent home pregnant.
That's how we do it. Why don't they put women in Marine Corps infantry units? Because they get pregnant.
They get pregnant. Just by walking in the room, you get pregnant. I'm not saying anything happened. I'm not saying there was coitus. But what I am saying is you will end up pregnant if you end up with one of our units. That's a damn sure.
So then, and it was probably a politician that came up with this idea. Well, we'll put them in the leadership ranks. They'll get pregnant.
Officers.
We'll get them pregnant. Then it's just like, now we're really gonna get them pregnant. Like
now they're pregnant and they're a bitch.
100%. Last thing on the Navy stuff, and we'll push on. I want people to understand, just to understand, in the Marine Corps, right? As ruthless and savages as we are, we never say we steal shit. We say we indefinitely borrow shit, right? Seabees just tell you, we'll steal your shit.
We're gonna steal your shit.
like that's the level of assholes these guys are. And
I got 2 quick stories on that. I was walking through Costco, greatest store on earth. I get meat that's huge, and I love huge meat. Not that.
Such a Navy.
Shut up, Mike.
I'm gonna clip that shit.
General,
that's going on.
Mike Flynn's sitting over here right now, laughing. He goes, "Yeah, you do." I was like,
"I'm going to tag you on that one, Mike. Don't worry about it." That one's
you're getting tagged on that one, Mike.
that one's not going away.
I'm showing Mike Flynn's come here for this weekend so we can go just hang out, and he's like, he sends us a Brokeback Mountain fucking. You're such an asshole. So I was walking through Costco, and this guy is wearing khakis. I hate khakis because it's the uniform of an asshole. And if you wear khakis, it just sucks. That was the same way it was in the Beast, right? Officers all wearing khakis. You guys are dicks. And then now it's Lindsey Graham, but he puts a blue jacket on with gold buttons, the aristocratic fag. I just can't stand it. And so I don't own khakis. I actually spoke at a couple TPUSAs at some of these universities. And I'm like, if you wear khakis, you're wrong. And there was 2 guys that were late, and they walked in wearing khaki, blue jacket, gold buttons, and the entire room started laughing. The Coastal Carolina group here had a khaki burning because of my speech. They actually went out there and burned their khakis and said, "You're right, we're not wearing that shit anymore." So anyway, this guy walks up. He was an officer, and he saw my Seabee shirt. It said something like, "We exist even though you haven't heard of us." And he's like, "Hey man, are you really a Seabee?" Which I hate because I'm wearing shit, but there's a lot of fake stuff out there. I said, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm 68 years old. I was a commander of a hovercraft." I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. It's a big vacuum cleaner. It's cool. Whatever. I've ridden on those. Cool." And he's like, "I gotta ask you." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "I was going from Puerto Rico to Vieques, which is an island off." And he said, and I gave some Seabees a ride. They asked me through my command if I would take these 8 Seabees over to Vieques. And he's like, "Sure, yeah, jump on the hovercraft." He goes, I said, "I've been to Puerto Rico." I said, "It's like a 10-minute ride, 15-minute ride." He's like, "Exactly. These guys got on there, sat nicely, didn't even have backpacks, nothing." I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "We get back to Puerto Rico, and I go down to my locker, and I'm like, okay, because I just picked up my whites. I have a wedding to go to, the ice cream man outfit, the white, cute stuff that officers wear." And he said, "My guys went to go get their lunch." He goes, "We watched those 8 Seabees walk off the back of our hovercraft. My whites were gone. All of our lunches were gone. 4 pike poles that we use for docking, and 3 of our ARs." And I'm like, "How the fuck did we watch? How did they carry all that on? We watched them go off the back of the boat." And they went to the CB unit, and they're like, "Well, we don't know what you're talking about, bro. Don't know." And he's like, "We never had any proof, but I put my whites. Why would they steal?" He kept going on about the whites. He's like, why? He's like mad in the middle of Costco looking at me. And I'm laughing my ass off. He's like, what? Why the fuck did they take my whites? And I was like, I'll tell you why. Those boys, they were showing up to Vieques. There's a air det there. Vieques is, don't want us there. So they probably have to party. They can't go to the bar. There's like 2 bars in there. And they got to party themselves. So they knew they were going to Vieques. They had to bring party favors. He's like, what? I was like, 2 pike poles? You don't understand what you can do with that shit. I mean, that turns into pole vaulting. It turns into, hey, I can rip that guy's window out of his upstore. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I said, but your whites were, one of the guys got really shit housed on Don Q 151, went and ripped the sleeves off of your jacket, that the one with the collar right here, put all the brass on it, and he was partying his entire ass off in white pants, shiny shoes, and your officer whites. And I promise you, he's got a bunch of pictures, and they're awesome. He's like, and I'm laughing while I'm saying it. He's like, our whites cost like $1,500. And I was like, so you got robbed. I can get you somewhere down in LA. Easy. And he didn't think I was funny. And from that point, at least I was able to answer him. But it's a funny story. And well, we don't have to go into the next story, but that was my favorite, because the Seabees are those guys. That, and then in Desert Storm, that's why the Seabees are still here, is that Norman Schwarzkopf was flying around, and they asked him, the whole desert's dark because they're in the middle of a war. And he's like, why is that lit up? Because it was an order from him. And he's like, well, sir, this is in a helicopter. And he's like, well, sir, that's the Seabees. And he's like, well, tell them to turn their lights off. This is a forward area. And he's like, well, they have a problem, though. You told them they needed to have this runway opened up in 48 hours. They can't do that in the dark. So they chose the order to ignore based on their own viability of survival. Meaning, the Seabees are like, we're going to light this bitch up. And if y'all want to come play, it says open for business. We will fuck you up. And Norman Schwarzkopf, he said it in the book, and he's like, I will never forget the Seabees. They built a runway in 24 hours that we could land C-5s on in the desert. And he said, and at the end of his statement, he goes, and then I found out, he went over to the Seabees after they finished the runway in that 24 hours, went over to the French base that they had out there, stole all their geotextile that we make runways out of, and 3 pallets of wine. And in the next 24 hours, the Seabees built a Olympic-sized swimming pool in the middle of the desert for the Marines and the Seabees. So they're all sitting in their silkies, chilling in a pool with geotextile, drinking wine, and the French come over and be like, hey, did you guys take our wine? And you're like, fuck you, frog coat and breath. Get out of here. And the French didn't know what to do. And the Seabee officer's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, get off our base.
We didn't take shit.
So that gives you an idea of some of the history and what the bees are about. And look, we're not Navy SEALs. We're not all that. But damn it, when I see another bee, instant brother. When I see a Marine, instant brother. When I see a SEAL, instant brother. Green Berets and all them guys, a little different. You got to explain to them what it was. They didn't pass their ABSVAB anyway. And that's really hard when you drive around with General Flynn for a month in an RV. Trust me, with a bunch of tier 1 guys.
Listen, people always say, Marines are the dumbest ones. I say, I never met a Green Beret. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I do that too. I'm like, man, you can say what you want about the Marines, but if you ever met a Green Beret, those guys talk about a yard dart or a bullet sponge. Holy shit, they just do it in the dark.
I tell
Marines
people,
walk out there and say, fuck you, come. The Green Berets are like, they move 3 feet in 24 hours because they're trying to sneak up on something. The Marines just walk up there and tear down shit as they go. Those are my kind of people. That's why we hang.
When I've met a Green Beret and they're, oh, you guys are the crayon eaters, I go, hold on, listen here, fuckface. The pictures on our weapon systems are because of you guys.
Exactly right, man. We used to say that in the fire department. Do you realize why there are rules like you got to put the fucking cone out behind a fire truck at a fire? Like, I got other shit to do. I got to put this fucking cone out because one of you morons ran over another firefighter because you didn't look behind you. That's what the Army does for the Seabees and the Marines. You guys fuck up, and they're like, oh my God. It goes back to the Pentagon. It goes in that weird octagon a couple times, and it comes out with some stupid rule and policy. It's because of Green Berets and Army. You're absolutely right.
I will own the fact that claymores have face towards enemy.
Face towards the enemy.
Okay, listen, there's some Marines out there that are like, fucking, you didn't realize the curve, man? And so they had to put face towards enemy. I'll own that one. But the pictures, that's the Green Berets.
That's the Green Berets, you're right. I'll say all Army, because all you have to do is spell your name right. That's bad.
100%. I love that shit. So I want to get into now, because from, you went from gay in the Navy to super gay joining the firefighters. What is
fucking cops? I swear to God, these guys. You know why we got a big old silver bumper on the front of our rig? Is so we can move your piece of shit. Because you guys don't know where to park when shit goes down. Anytime you come up to a fire and the cops are there first, they're all standing in the front yard like this.
Well, listen, they give us a course called Emergency Vehicle Operation Course. Coolest shit that I've learned to drive. Cool. One of the funnest things that I love to do was
we take it too, dummy.
Oh, listen, it was awesome.
You do that whole spin aroundy thing with the car?
Hell yeah.
We do the fire truck, asshole.
Of course you guys do. But in that entire course, you know what's one thing they don't teach you? Parking. They don't teach. They
don't teach you parking. That's why they got the big ass brush guard on the front, because you just run into shit all the time because you're a bunch of retards.
Well, here, let me put a little asterisk. They teach us how to park in between two vehicles with only like 6 inches on either side. Your 6 inches, my 6 inches, another conversation. But so if there's a tight spot, we'll make it work. But outside of that, we're just like, oh, I showed up. All right, I'm just gonna put park and leave the car right here.
That's exactly what you do. Shut up, you're full of shit. And I can prove firefighters. So Playboy does the sexiest jobs every year, right? Firefighting has been the number one job, sexiest job by Playboy for decades. Now, the most dangerous job. Do you know police isn't even the top 20? Firefighters number 1 or number 3. I think it moved to number 3 or 4. It's been moving up and down because the fucking crab guys and shit on Discovery Channel, because it's got to fit their narrative. I've watched that shit for 20 years. Not one motherfucker's died on that shit. How is it? Other boats have gone down. They're like, they're all sitting behind the thing. Like, oh, man. This guy smoke like crazy. And they smoke. But the Northwestern never even lost power. I'm like, if this is, but I can tell you every firefighter has been in the mouth of the dragon at some point. And I know cops that have never pulled their gun.
This is true.
So when it comes to all of you sexy, sexy ladies out there, firefighters, number 1.
Now,
men that go into the bad situation. And not only do we go into bad shit and fight something that is alive but won't talk back and is pissed all the time, the fire, we also have to understand the science of it. We have to understand what's going on based off of its own science and makeup and the backdrafts and all this. And then at the same time, we're going to take your fucking puppy out of the kitchen and put it in the yard and blow in its mouth and save your dog's life. Fuck cops. Cops just drive around and piss people off. I love you guys, but that's how I feel.
We will shoot your fucking puppy.
You tunnel a forehead, there's no doubt. And then I got to come in and do this to the guy's head and try to put it back together like we tried. And then we got to drive with the dead guy for 4 miles just so we can say that the doctor can say he's dead, not us when you put 2 in his forehead. It's a really weird relationship we have.
It is. Well, here's the counter argument too. Because of course, hose draggers always bring this up. We always get voted the most sexiest. Is one, again, if now this has changed in the last 10 years, but if we go from like the early 2000s prior, gay dudes they're usually the best looking dudes out there. They're really fit. So of course the lady, and what do the ladies always say? Oh, it's so sad that he's gay. So it makes sense.
Right.
It makes sense that they would say firefighters are the most sexiest because it kind of lines up with they're super gay. I mean, listen, it's the one thing firefighters do aside from taking naps, playing video games, barbecuing, waxing their beautiful truck, rolling up hoses, and then every now and then, oh, there's a 3-alarm fire, right? I mean, you sleep with a bunch of men for a couple days. Like, that's weird, bro. That's
you sleep
weird.
In your car with yourself or a hooker or a dog. Shut up.
Yeah.
You know, cops have been fired because they were banging a hooker on their job or getting a Hummer. And then for you canine guys, we sleep in a barracks, and you guys are sleeping in your car with your malawa
and peanut butter.
Weird. There's peanut butter there's two cup holders. One's got your coffee, and the other one's got a little thing of Jif. So I ain't got no time for your shit. And the idea that women find gay guys sexy because they're firefighters doesn't even equate. Like, that doesn't even make sense. That is a Harry Sisson narrative.
No, it totally makes sense.
Thank you, Mike.
It's
kind of cool having a live audience. Yeah.
What's the only difference between a stripper and a firefighter? A stripper gets money thrown at her when she's on a pole.
Pulls have been gone for a long time.
So the one thing that made you guys kind of cool, you got rid of. How gay is that?
You made it cool. You just said it was cool. How about the fact that we can drive a 3-ton fire engine down the road, wheeling it out and wheeling that thing wherever it got to go? You guys drive around in freaking Chargers. It's made to do that. We got 4 shit tons of water just doing this in the back too, and we're still able to make that thing happen. And one asshole's got to ride backwards. You don't think he wants to throw up? And we got a fucking dog. We always have a dog. Who doesn't love dogs?
I will say I'm impressed with something, and out of all the years of working with you guys, I forgot about this. So when I was a young kid, before I went into the military, uncle and dad took me out. So you're going to learn what a shovel's like. So if you don't get your shit together, this is what it's going to be like. And my dad would take it a little too far sometimes. So then my uncle would put me in the water truck. And for people that understand, as you start spraying that water and your tank gets lower and lower, it starts to slosh around. You can make that shit roll very easy. And I never thought about the fact that, holy shit, you guys are driving fast.
You see that fire truck and you're that asshole. It's like, I got to get to work. I'm not moving over. I'm not doing it. You might have a whole bunch of chrome attitude adjustment coming up the back of your Prius. I'm telling you right now. And the cool thing is they may or may not have cutters in the back to get you out of that tin can. So get the fuck out of the way. Somebody else's job or somebody else's life needs us. And this is one thing that you and I will agree on. There are only certain people out there that can do the jobs we did, right? And we took it with that honor and integrity. And this is something that was told to me by my mentor, Tweet Brady. And he said, it doesn't matter how your life was before you come on this shift. I don't care if your wife's banging Johnny next door. I don't care if your kid is a fucking drug addict. I don't care if you're in foreclosure. When you come to this firehouse, you are no longer in that family. There is no 912. There is only 911. And you have been chosen by your community to be that person that comes on everybody's worst day. And that has lived in me my entire life. Even now that I can't fight fire because I'm breaking my neck, that's how I do my politics. That's how I do my Veterans for Trump. That's how I advocate. I advocate with that passion that there is nothing else because, damn it, somebody needs to do it. And everybody needs a 911 in every aspect of our life, from mental health to financial to understanding relationships to being. There's always a 911 aspect in every aspect of our life. And if you can be that 911 for somebody, that's something that you have to hold as an honor and integral thing and make sure you protect it. And that's who I am and what I will be till the day I die. I'll be that old asshole at a firehouse drinking coffee, pissing them off, driving up in my golf cart with a little red light on it. I'm still that dude.
And I do absolutely agree with you on that. And I want to ask you a few more things before we get into the veteran stuff so I can let you go. Is as much as cops and firefighters give each other shit, you know, when Chad was talking about that one asshole that doesn't want to move out of the fire truck's way.
I hate that guy.
If I'm in the black and white following that truck and I see that, it goes from, oh, here goes, fucking firefighters are gonna go play hero. Hey, who's that motherfucker that won't move out of their way? Woo! Pull him over. I'm gonna.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna fill that ticket up. I'm gonna write on the side.
That's true.
You know, I'm gonna be measuring the tread on your tires. Like I am going to ruin
fucking tent. Yeah, I know.
You got some funny shit hanging from your rearview mirror. Oh, obstruction of view. I am going to ruin your day if you do not get out of the way from these men that are putting their life in danger to go save someone else's life. If you don't want to move out of the way, I'm going to give you the most expensive ticket known to God. Like that's what's going to happen. And then when I show up on scene, I'll let the firefighters know. They'll be like, thanks, appreciate it. And then we'll start talking shit again. Like,
right. And usually the one that's really mad is the guy that the cop's wife left him for a firefighter. It happens all the time.
And vice versa. So, and the funny part is,
I'm not familiar with that, but maybe.
Well, I was going to say it's usually the same woman.
It's usually back ass gay California where you live, for sure.
So, well, it's hard to get, you know, a firefighter wife to leave a firefighter for a cop because typically they're married to other men. But you know,
all right,
before we get into the veteran stuff, for the audience, the vast majority of people will never get to experience what it's like to get that close to that monster of what a fire is. And I remember my first experience, you know, it was an abandoned house fire, but it was close to an apartment complex. So, you know, they were working on it. And I remember we got there fairly quick. And I remember I'm probably, you know, probably about a driveway's length away from the side of the house. And I was like, that shit is hot. Like what you see in the movies does not give you like the correct assessment of what this stuff is like. So paint the picture, whether it's a training environment or a real environment. What's it like, man? Like try to describe it as best. Try to get us to be able to live what that feels like.
I can do it perfectly. So we'll start from the alarm, right? The alarm goes. You put your joystick down from your Xbox. Totally joke. Not really. I mean, I've been running down the road before with a steak on a fork, driving the rig, right? So that alarm goes off and you're listening because now you're getting the report, right? What we have. You're also looking, as me as an engineer, I'm like, okay, I got to know where I'm going. So I'm going to take, in my head, I'm going to take 501. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this is the quickest way to get there. So all the while putting my bunker gear on. And then we're listening. Okay, fully engulfed. Well, that's just what the 911's hearing, right? So we get on scene, especially in a first due. Like first due means this is our area, so we're the closest. You roll up, you're looking for hydrant. And you come around that corner, especially at night, and you see that orange glow, right? You're like, and as firefighters, we can look at that orange glow and go, fuck. And we all have headsets on. We're talking to each other, and we're like, all right, we're going to do this on the side of the, you know, the lieutenant's usually giving, or captain is giving orders over that. And then we hook up. But like, say I'm on the attack line. Rolling up to that door. Feeling that heat, putting that your mask on, bringing your hood up, putting your helmet on, and you have it. You feel underneath because you have the line underneath you. You feel that line go erect because the water's being pumped, right? And you're like, and you look at the front door. You're trying to figure out how you're going to do this. Are we going to get a backdraft? Are we going to do it? You know, a lot of science is happening before we even get into this thing. The moment I reach for that nozzle, I swear to God, it feels like your name's being called in the biggest football game you've ever been in your life. Chad Caton, number 56, blah, 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 blah. That's the way it feels. You're like, it's fucking game time. Nothing else matters. Nothing fucking matters. But you, that line, and the guy behind you. That's it. And you're looking at the dragon. You're looking at this thing, licking the roof of the thing over the door, or coming out of a window, and you hit that door. And when you hit that door, there's always different things happen. But when it opened the door and that flame comes out and starts coming above everything, you just look at it. And right there, your training takes you to, okay, we've got this, we've got a low bank of smoke, we got this, we have to do, because we're first due. So we got to take that line, get some water on it, but we're also doing initial search. We don't know who's there. We don't know if there's kids in the room. So we have to do an initial search. You can't see shit. And the noise in that thing is crazy. The things you hear inside of a fully engulfed house are sounds you will never be able to explain. And it sounds like it is alive. You can hear it breathe. You can hear it scream. You can hear its anger. To being into a fully engulfed fire on your knee with a fucking squirt gun, looking at the scariest thing you've ever seen in your life, because it acts like it's alive. Every once in a while, a flame will come down and lick your mask. That heat you felt of half a football field away, you don't feel it anymore. You don't feel it. I mean, the heat, it's just all you're thinking about is what you're looking at. And then you put that fight, and you have to, okay, am I going to go straight up open nozzle on this? Am I going to put this into a fog so that we can keep some of this heat off of us? Can we got to start pulling that line through. We have to, we're feeling. I put my hand right through the chest of a person that had already been cooked up. And then once you've done your initial search, you've hopefully got more manpower. And then you sit there like you did in a rifle team. And you fucking kick this thing's ass. And you watch it, man. You watch that fire. It comes out. And it's like still fighting back at you. And you guys are just crushing this thing. And it fights, man. The fire will fight you to the death, man. And to sit there and watch something that you can't look at its eyes, you can't see it, and it feels like it's alive. And it is trying to kill you. It wants to envelop everything that's around it. And when you sit there with your brothers and we do it right, man, there's no better feeling. We walk out of that shit fucking hard as hell going, now what, bitch? Looking at the cops. And we're seriously, I mean, black soot all over our face. Fucking ears are burnt. And we're just like, the fucking dragon lost again. Everybody's safe. Everybody's out. Everybody is good. Our guys are going home. There's nothing like it. I got sweaty, man. That shit got me fucking turned on. I'm telling you right, man, there is nothing like firefighting. Nothing. It is the most evil thing I have ever faced in my life. Head on.
I may or may not have a freedom boner right now.
I made a cop have a boner. This is
you almost made me for a second think it kind of sounds fucking cool right there.
It's pretty cool. I'm telling you, man. And there's no video. There's no, even in a training situation where they do a draft training, that's pretty cool because you're learning that science, right? And you're like, fuck, if I pay attention to this, the dragon can never get me. And you're right. It is, even though it's the most evil thing you've ever seen, it has its properties. There's a way to beat it. And usually, things go bad in a fire. It's either structural or somebody fucked up. And, I'm not saying cops taking bullets. I've been shot at. It's not cool. But something that I can't try to put my own brain to and what it's going to do, and going into some place I've never even been into, not understanding the geographical area like we do in war. We do major intel on geo. So it's just a house. We don't know if there's a fucking lab in there. We don't know if it's filled with guns that get heated up and start shooting. You never know what you're walking into. But you know what? We do it. And we do it whether you're a Democrat, Republican, black, white, Asian, purple, whatever. We don't give a fuck. We show up. And that's what was so important to me and what I try to carry every day. And I use that same reckless abandon with intelligence. And that's what a firefighter is.
100%. 100%. And
Cops are the guys that got beat up in fucking gym.
Listen, people say, Alpha, why cops hate firefighters so much? Listen, okay, before we get into the last segment here on the veteran stuff, it's this reason, okay? Firefighters will go, the garage, listen, there's Chad's perspective, and then there's the perspective of those standing in the street, making sure no one runs over their pretty hoses, because God forbid you run over one of their pretty hoses, right?
Did you not just hear the fucking dragon I'm fighting? Do I need somebody to park their Honda on my fucking hose? It's kind of important. I only have one weapon, dickhead. Now you're making fun of it.
We sit there and we protect the hoses. And, we watch these guys do the part where Chad's talking about the science, because, the corner of the garage is on fire. So they're doing the assessment. And then the garage is on fire and they're doing the assessment. And then the side of the house is on fire. They're doing the assessment. So finally, when they go to address the fire, there's the living room that's pretty much left to be saved. So they go in there, they water damage everything, all this stuff.
Tear people's shit up. It's the only place you can go to somebody's house and fuck up everything they love, and they hug you like crazy when you come out.
And that's where I'm going. Because one of them comes out with a fucking fish tank or a puppy, or a stuffed
puppies deserve to live.
Or don't
minimize the puppy.
Or a family portrait, right? They always come out with, and I've watched this shit. They always come out with something that looks like it has potential to have sentimental value, and the families are crying and hugging the firefighters, and we're looking like the whole house is fucking destroyed, and they love these guys. Now, later on that same Friday night, the house next door is having a Cinco de Mayo festival. And one of the uncles gets too drunk and the family can't get him to leave. So they call the cops, right, to deal with the drunk uncle. And then we get there and he doesn't want to leave. So things get a little rough. And as we're pulling him out of the house at their demand, we trip. Uncle lands on the coffee table. The coffee table breaks. And it's like, we want your job. You should be fired. It's like,
that's fucked up.
Hold on. The $400,000 house right here for the neighbors, those guys are heroes. We break $100 coffee table because we
saved their only a picture they have of the abuela.
Yeah,
come on, homie. You know I'm smoking. They didn't have iPhones in the cloud back in the day. When we grabbed that picture of abuela, they're like, "Holy shit, ese uncle's gonna get fucked up tonight next door," and you guys gotta come deal with that. And why are you breaking people's coffee table, dog? A firefighter walk in there and be like, "Hey, homie, come here." Hey, dog, let me drive you, man. Come on, get the fire truck. He'd be like, okay, say, man, you're right, all right, fuck. Don't let the fucking pig come in here and fucking blah, blah. Because you guys are all like militant and shit because you got beat up in high school. You walk in there like, hey, Javier, let's go, motherfucker. You guys, I understand you got to cuss sometimes, but you don't start off with that shit. And you come across as this asshole. Fireman walks up there because you know why you always see firemen in bunker pants at night? Because we were sleeping. We were in our britches. We're in our shorts.
Jesus.
So we come in looking official. So I'm standing there in my bunker pants with the cool big suspenders, and I'm like, hey, let's go, man. Come on, let's go. We'll give you a ride.
Hell no. I'm showing up. It's just like,
you guys don't have any empathy. You're all a bunch of dicks.
Hey, they don't want you. It's time to go. Why should I go? Because I can put these on your wrists or this in your face. Which one do you want? I don't got time.
We'll say we can either take you to a psych hold or I can take you home.
I don't got time for I don't got time for your shit.
We just made frijoles at the firehouse. Here's a bag. You got something to eat on the way. Done and done. See, that's why people like firemen. Because you said, do they go in and save somebody's fucking dog? That's why, because you have no empathy. We are huge humans that fight an animal that is a fire and a dragon. But at the same time, your puppy means something to us. You're a dick. Maybe I should travel the country and talk to cops.
I'm here for the drunk uncle. He's back there. And you better put that pet bull away. I'm going to shoot it, Sass.
You shoot the fucking pit bull, we're going to have a problem. The cops, the firemen are already wearing that bite suit. All we do is walk up and we're like, come here, Betsy.
We could do this all day, but we're down to the last few minutes because I want to get this veterans. I want to get the veterans.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I want to get the veteran shit in here. So the dudes. You're a huge voice in the veteran community. And for everything that we've described this entire show, you know, a lot of those billets, whether it be cops, whether it be firefighters, any type of first responder, a large portion of that community are people that were veterans before in another life. And these people get treated like shit, man.
Yeah.
And the medical care, they're treated like shit. We have an ungodly amount of homeless veterans. And the last administration, this gave two shits about the men and women that serve this country. And now we see finally that shifting. One, kind of let my audience know, what kind of voice are you for veterans? And then what hope can you give to the veterans that are watching this show that, you know, over the last number of years have been like, I'm not going to the fucking VA, man. I don't want to get hooked on SRIs or something like that. What kind of hope can you give these guys to let them know that shit's not like that no more?
Well, I was on the executive team of the Veteran for Trump Coalition with our leader, Jesse Jane Duff, Gunnery Sergeant Jesse Jane Duff. I have some of the most amazing veteran friends in the world. We have a lot of those mutuals, one being quite possibly one of the biggest mentors of my life in General Michael Flynn. And it's one of those things where being an advocate for veteran, I don't even like the word advocate, right? Because I'm just a brother that has tried to build a platform or the political fear to bring about the best I can for my brothers and sisters. Just like a firefighter and a cop, like you said, we'll talk shit all day, but touch that cop in a bar. Watch what happens. I feel the same way about my veteran community. And being somebody that is considered 80% disabled with the VA, it's a bunch of people that don't give a fuck. Universal medicine or communist socialist medicine that the VA is a bunch of people that get paid a whole bunch of money to be a federal employee and don't give a fuck your number. It's actually happening with Medicare and Medicaid. We've lost the sense of empathy for our patient. Having been a medic, I have, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm. We saw during COVID, money meant more than doing no harm. Oath should mean something, even if it's in the medical field as the Hippocratic Oath. Our oath as veterans is in fact not something that has an expiration date. And to have a buddy of mine that has built a business to cut hair and has a very rare murmur that needs his heart worked on, and he's going to die from it. They've told him that. But we can't fix it because there's only one surgeon in the United States that does it, and he's not in the VA system. Who the fuck are you to say that he has to die because they're not in your proverbial system? And when I get mad about shit, and you know this, Alpha, that's when I'm good. Because you're going to pay, and I'm going to win. And I think that's where I accept the advocacy aspect of it, because I will bring absolute political fear to any and everybody I can. For the betterment of somebody that I believe deserves it, being a veteran, a cop, a firefighter, the best of our community. Whether that means we're good people, because we're not. We're usually fucked up. I'm not going to lie. You're not going to hear me sit here and give you psalms. I like yoga pants and beer, and I'm okay with that. But I'm the motherfucker on the wall, not the pulpit. And this particular guy that needed this heart situation, we started a Give, Send, Go. General Flynn got big time behind it. We had a couple other big names get behind it. And we brought in $96,000 in 2 weeks so he could go to Texas and have this surgery to fix his heart. It's a cool story, huh, Alpha? But it shouldn't be a fucking story when he served his country, and the heart murmur that he has is because of the fucking chemicals that they used on us as rats. I'm glad General Flynn did this. I'm glad people stood up and donated to get his heart. A simple guy here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina that owns a barber shop, which is cool because you can get a beer. Where we all sit around and are able to tell war stories and bullshit each other and give each other shit. The story's cool, but I want to get rid of those stories because the very apparatus that has been put in place to protect our veterans that have gone out there and raised their hand at a very young age and said, I'm willing to give it all for the betterment of what a bunch of assholes in DC in suits decide based off the military industrial fucking complex. And then when they come home, they're a fucking step stool during a primary. Because I want to stand next to these great men. But the minute you go back into office, you have something better to deal with, like what's the next fucking war, so we can make more of these people that are out there struggling. That's why I do what I do. And it fucking kills me every day to hear these stories.
You know, I listened to you share his story, and you know the way it is. You're speaking on one story, but there's 100 flying through your head.
Fucking thousands.
You're right, thousands. And you know, a few weeks ago, I had JJ Carroll on my podcast, and
Great
he
dude.
was telling me about another dude that has the same type of temperament and motivation that you do. And
Temperament. Thank you. My wife's back here. I married a redheaded Italian chick, so y'all know there is a special kind of bitch that has to be with me. And I don't mean bitch in a bad way. She's tough. She'll kick your ass.
I would have guessed redhead if you didn't even tell me, because there's only a select few that could handle a Chad, you know.
For real.
And he was telling me, you know, because he knows he still has his network, he still has his connections, and he was telling me about the money that was flowing through Catholic Charity and Jewish Family Services, the on the books money, the off the books money, you know, that fell out of the way of audits because of double payments and payments coming in because the other payment hadn't gone there, and you know, no appropriate way to. And he was telling me, you know, over $1 trillion on illegals, and I remember thinking, like, I don't think people can even fathom the amount of money that is. And the sad part was, I went and I said, how many active documented homeless veterans do we have right now? And I went and did the number on it. I don't remember it right now. But I did the number and I said, huh. And so I divided the number that JJ Carroll gave me, the 1 point whatever it was trillion, by the number of homeless veterans. Bro, you could have bought each one of them a $250,000 house cash outright and ended. There would not one homeless veteran, and not talk about, oh, you're putting them in an apartment, or not talking about, oh, you're paying their mortgage. No, buy them outright. Here's your house, paid for in cash. We
like Tunnels Tower does. Yeah, here's your house. Thank you.
We spent that on fucking illegals.
Yep.
When we could have housed every homeless vet we had. And when I started getting angry, bro, when I started looking at the numbers, like I was so angry that, like you said, these young men and women that put the hand up, took the oath, we won't take care of them, but someone who will violate the Constitution, who will violate the respect for this country, who will literally come into this country by the first action being a crime, will go out of our way as a government. When I say our, I'm talking about the tyrannical government that stole an election, will go out of our way to house these people. And I was just so angry when I heard that. And
you know what, something to add to that, you know, in relationships you know me, I'm still redneck. So I like to bring things into sayings. I love sayings because again, my mentor, Tweet Brady, he said, you know why we have sayings? Because people are fucking retarded for 1,000 years. And I was like, that's a great point. so I love sayings. I love putting sayings in perspective in our daily, right? And the way you talked about it, you know, with the illegals and the way they come in. And this is something I want people to remember, based off of the difference between an immigrant and somebody that jumped our border. In relationships, they say you often get the relationship that you have based on how you got them, is how it's going to end, or it's how it's going to be. So if you're cheating on your wife and you end up marrying the broad you're cheating with, or the dude, more than likely that is going to hang over your relationship forever and you'll lose them that way. That's why there's a saying, because it's happened a lot. It's the same thing with our immigrants. You're going to get the citizen the way they came, with zero care for the Constitution, rule of law, trying to be a part and assimilate into the United States of America, they are essentially the whore that is. The homebreaker. That's the way I look at immigration. And I look at I've had that discussion with, and that's also why I like saying, is because if you look at a Democrat that tries to argue the concept of illegal immigration, you can't argue that point. If you come into my country in something that needs to be is the most powerful country on the planet, and you come in starting off on the wrong foot, you're probably going to be a part of our society that is on the wrong foot. And then to continue feeding that monster with free shit, you are building something that is going to more than likely take lives. And we've seen it.
100%, brother. We're at the end of this show. So the last thing that I like to do with my people segment is a rapid fire, right? We're going to finish a couple questions, rapid fire. Kind of built around, things that would make sense to you. Don't think too much into it. Fire off the cuff.
I'm not gay.
Argument.
I have a feeling his rapid fire is going to get gay somewhere.
Objection,
Sorry.
Your Honors, calls for speculation. We'll go with the first. All
right,
one.
rapid fire.
All right, number one, Navy or Firehouse? Where was the adrenaline rush higher?
Firehouse.
Okay. Number two, what's one construction tool every Seabee swore by?
Leatherman.
Yeah, that's a good one. Number three, funniest prank you ever pulled in the firehouse?
Might affect my retirement.
Hypothetically.
I found we had this guy named John Gerald, right? A country boy. Scared to death of snakes. Well, I found this thick garter, like brown snake. And he always did like he had a CPAP. So his CPAP was in like one of them little ditty bag type thing.
Cruel, bro.
And John Gerald's probably like 6'3", 280, like big boy, big old country boy, John Gerald, and he wore that. I hate CPAP because it's like sleeping in a freaking runway. And I took that snake and I put it in his ditty bag, and he went to bed, and I'm in the living room, and I saw him he's like, "Good night, boys, and go to bed." And he walks up in there, and I heard this dude who looks like a junkyard dog, like he talks like, And I heard the biggest scream, like straight up at Six Flags with a 15-year-old blonde girl. And he grabbed that snake, and blood was everywhere. He fucking beat the bejesus out of this snake. There was blood all over the fucking bunk room. And he's in there like, die, motherfucker, die. He had his ditty, but he destroyed his entire CPAP. There's blood everywhere. We had to pull him off of a snake that had been punched to death. He had blood all over him. And he's like, how does a fucking snake find its way in my CPAP? I was like, and to see how fucking mad he was and the violence that came from it, we're all like, bro, I don't know, man. That thing must have snuck in while we were bringing in the groceries or something. No. Fuck, John Gerald, you stuck that thing up. I had parts of dead snake on my pillow. Like, he threw this thing all over the place. And it took a long time for us to finally be, hey, John Gerald, remember that snake? He's like, "Oh, fucking kill you, Smoke! I'll kill you." That's probably my favorite prank. But I love pranking people. I fuck with people all the time. I'd put aqueous film foaming foam in people's drinking water on their truck. And it's hot as shit in South Carolina. And they go get some water on a thing. It's all foam. Yeah, that's why I don't have many friends. And all my friends are like you, Alpha. They live far, far away. Look at Mike's like, fuck.
Jeez. I'll tell you what. You know, I know Chad's my people.
Nobody died though. Okay.
This is how I know Chad's my people, because I know in that moment when he saw how pissed off that dude was, he contemplated for a second blaming one of his buddies, saying, "Hey man, you shouldn't have done that shit." He contemplated.
Yeah, I had it in my head. It's the fucking weird rookie that moved here from Jersey. Yeah, I had it in my head, but I was like, he'll kill him. He will fucking kill him. And I'm like, I don't want him to lose his job. Like I was doing a whole bunch of math, and I hate that shit. Right? We've already been through this, and I was like, man, we're just gonna be like, fuck, dude. And the only one that knew was the rookie from Jersey.
So
and, we called him Lincoln because he drove a fucking 1984 Lincoln. This dude was weird as shit. And I was like, he's gonna burn me down. He's gonna rat me out. And I told him, I said, I'll fucking kill you.
I'll turn off your fucking oxygen tank.
I swear on everything holy, I will fucking kill you.
Right.
John Gerald was so mad. I was like, no. I'm not even gonna put it on the rookie because he would have killed him.
Next one. Favorite piece of gear: hard hat as a Seabee, helmet as a firefighter, microphone as a voice.
Microphone.
I'm there with you, brother. I'm there
because I did things for people. Now I'm trying to educate, motivate, and activate people to be that person.
All day. Next one. If you could rebuild one U.S. monument with your crew, what would it be?
If I could rebuild?
If you could rebuild.
Like it's already built, but I want to do it better?
Yeah, you want to do it better.
I would do the Washington Monument and put more of a penis head instead of a pointed head.
Fuck, bro.
If you're asking me and my boys, that's what we're going to do.
Why are there two grapefruit trees planted on either side of the bottom of the monument?
Dude, do you see how quick my brain works? Like, you want me to fix it? And the thing is there's going to be people like, well, why would he do that? Just such a sacred, blah, blah, blah. Well, first off, I ain't Illuminati. So, and if I'm going to fix something with me and my boys, we're going to put a penis tip on the head of that. So when everybody comes to Washington, they can say, if you like it or you don't, you can suck my dick. And remember when Washington crossed the Delaware? It's kind of what he said. Just different.
Put me in charge of the fireworks show so I can strategically put the audience bleachers behind a certain area of the monument. So when the final fireworks go off, it looks like they're shooting out of the top.
No better day than not one out.
All right, last couple, brother. Best pump up song before a shift or a deployment.
Ooh.
You can't. I know you're thinking YMCA.
Actually, I'm going to freak you out on what I would play. Like, I look at it like when I wrestled. Like, what did I listen to? Right.
Right.
Tchaikovsky 1812 Overture.
You're talking classics? You're a fucking weirdo, bro.
Have you ever heard of Tchaikovsky's 1812 Overture?
No.
It is the most beautiful piece of music to show death and destruction you've ever thought in your head. If you really sit there, if you are a warrior in any way, shape, or form, and you listen to the 1812 Overture with headphones on and close your eyes, you are fucking shit up.
Oh, I'm gonna listen to it and try to picture it.
And you're gonna shit. I've done this to other people, and you're gonna call me and be like, bro, it changes everything, bro. It changes everything. And I'm sitting there, guys are listening to Tupac and shit. They're like, what's up? I'm over there. And I'm just like, yeah, fucking
Jesus, bro. Be honest.
Yeah, I'm the guy in the helicopter going into war with Tchaikovsky on it. Yeah, that's me, dog, all day.
All right, we got to fly through these last couple here. I'm looking at the ticker. Be honest, ever fall asleep in gear?
Oh, yeah. Wait, in the military or the firefighter?
Either one, baby. Either one.
Both. I ain't gonna lie. On watch. Fucking damn it.
Listen, I'll really freak people out. I was the backup driver for an LAV, which it's think of a Bradley that's light armored and has wheels instead of tracks. I was the backup driver, and I fell asleep driving that motherfucker. Because you put on that gay crewman helmet they have, and I just hear their
Yo, my wire was fucked up. Yeah, no,
So
I'm well
couldn't hear
aware.
you guys.
Mhm.
Favorite I'm fired up rant line that even surprised you?
Ooh. You got me in trouble twice already. But I guess we'll bring it out here. I looked at the camera and I said, Lindsey Graham, you are nothing but a closet faggot and somebody that stands behind the very pulpit of Christianity as you are holier than thou than the rest of us, as you suck on the dick of the military industrial complex, waiting for the next child to die. Fuck you. That was my, that got me fired. I got me yelled at. And from this day forward, Lindsey Graham wants me dead. So,
Ladybug Lindsey.
Ladybug Lindsey, don't look up Lindsey Graham Ladybug, and don't come to my DMs because you did. That's your fault.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I handed him that affidavit, dickhead.
And if you do it, and you need to cleanse your palate after that, look up Blue Waffle. Okay, so last two questions. Don't get in my DMs after you do that. You didn't learn the first time. If you had 60 seconds with a struggling veteran, what's the one thing you would tell them?
Everything you've ever been through that makes you the veteran are the very things that are going to bring you out of the time you're feeling now. The world isn't the same. The rules aren't the same, but you matter. You just have to figure out where you matter in this new battlefield. And I'm here to help you.
Well,
I think that was 66, 20 seconds.
That's going to get clipped too, brother. Now, last question, and I'm really interested in hearing this one. What keeps Chad fired up when the world's trying to burn you out?
The people. When I was in North Carolina with Boone Cutler and General Flynn, going through with dogs, finding dead people that just went to bed. Listening to the stories of veterans like my buddy at the barbershop. Looking at my beautiful nieces and nephews. Realizing that if I don't take the steps I do now, that the pain that we're feeling as adults will be 10x, if not more. Realizing my legacy is never going to be based on the idea of me having children, but the legacy I leave on the people I touch or the things that I had the ability and the opportunity to change. And I did it. That's it in a nutshell.
100%, brother. Honor to have you on for this conversation. This is why I love you, bro. And I hope that people, when they watch this show, whether it's live or on the replay, I want you guys to think about this when you've heard Chad's story. Whether you see a cop in a patrol car, you see a fire truck flying by on the freeway, or you see a mom or dad in the mall pushing a stroller. These are the stories behind and under all those clothes. And if we consider that before we treat each other like shit or talk shit about each other, try to destroy each other, maybe this world be just a little bit better if we can just hold back one time from being an asshole when we don't need to be an asshole. You guys, this is People, Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Chad Caton, you saw it scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Go follow him on X. I'm not responsible for the shit that it causes you in trauma, but you will definitely learn a lot. God bless Semper Fi, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.